Hello, and welcome to the From the Shadows podcast. I am the producer, Jason Lewis. I would like to thank you for tuning in to the From the Shadows podcast. And without further ado, here is your host, Shane Grove.
Hey, welcome to this week's edition of the Midweek Howl. Jason, the producer's with me. What's up, Jason?
Hey, now.
And the theozarkhowler's joining us, and I've begged him to tell this story. So if nobody likes this story, it's my fault. But I think everybody's going to enjoy this one.
Well, it's fresh in my mind right now because the Daytona was a couple weeks ago, Daytona 500. Okay. And the Monday after the Daytona 500, when the Lord reached down and took one of the best drivers ever, Dale Earnhardt.
I remember that.
Yeah. The day afterwards, I was sitting on the highway reading the newspaper, listening to all the tributes on sports radio. And I started hearing this, what we call in law enforcement mutual aid. I was hearing all these mutual aid, the city calling the county calling the city, and then the city calling the state for armed robbery in progress at this Petro truck stop up on the interstate. And it's about 40 or 45 miles from where I'm sitting. Okay. And I had absolutely zero need. And as these dispatchers are having this rookie trooper that I knew to go over there, and I could tell that he was, he's trying to, you just get to know just by listening to radio traffic that I don't want to say overloaded, but it's just goat rope, turning into goat rope, and if it keeps going, it's going to be a county fair in a minute. But I was depressed because of Dale getting killed. I threw my newspaper in the NASCAR fans don't make the best state troopers. So I threw my newspaper in the back and I started kind of heading that away. And the further I drove, the more the goat rope got big. And I'm about to go I'm on a 2-lane blacktop. I'm down here at the river, 2-lane country road, but I'm about to get on the 4-lane. And I thought, I don't know, maybe it's a tribute to Mr. Earnhardt, but I'm about to kick this big Ford down, and I'm going to run it up about 125. It'll give me an excuse. So I pick up my mic and I tell the dispatch, I'm going to go up there and help in this deal. So they tell this young trooper, that's okay. We got old troopers coming. He's lazy, but he knows everybody. They didn't. That's what they were thinking. That's what they were thinking, but they didn't say it. Okay. So I immediately realized my mistake when I pulled in the truck stop parking lot. Now, anybody that's drove down the interstate and pulled into a Petro truck stop, they're as big as my hometown.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
In one parking lot. Okay. It's in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, 6:30, 7:30 in the morning. It's daylight, but it's early. These cops got their shotguns out. This is back before everybody had AR-15. So back in the old days, they'd pull out shotguns. Everybody had, 2 or 3 of them had deputies there with shotguns out, and city cops with shotguns out. And the one trooper, he didn't have a gun out, but he had his hat on, which is just as good. And, and I pulled up, put my one down, and they said, now this truck stop, we're at what they call the not only it wasn't a petrol that got robbed, it was the fuel island. So to get to where the truckers actually buy their fuel, it's around back. And I mean, it is 300 18-wheelers lined up. I mean, that's how big this parking lot is. And this cop, young cop, straight-faced, could be not the trooper, but the city cop, says, man, I'm glad you're here. We're going to start searching all these trucks.
Oh, man.
And, I can't relay the dumb look on my face over your podcast, but I assure you that if you see me, you know what I mean? I couldn't believe my mistake. And I said, okay, well, where's everybody at? Well, so and so and so. I can't talk about the one guy because he's still working, and I don't want the other guy's dead. So I'll talk about the dead guy, Jake. Said, and Jake's a deputy, and he says Jake's up there, and so I wheel on up there, and I still ain't got out of my car because remember I'm lazy. So I wheel up there and I put my window back down, and Jake says, "Hey man, you want to look at the surveillance tape with me?" I said, "Yeah, why not, right?" So I hop out and I tell this young trooper, I said, he says, "Man, I'm glad you're here." And I said, I don't know if I should have came. He sounds like to me, you guys got your work cut out for you. Yeah, well, the county and the city, they're wanting to search every truck, and, we're going to do this and this and that. And I said, well, I'm going to go in with Jake. Why don't you come in with me? Let's go look at the surveillance tape. And now I want to go in there because a couple things. It's inside. It's heated. No one wants to stand out in January, February. I think it's February in the elements. Okay. So we go in there and we're watching the tape, and this portly gray sweatshirt and gray sweatpants, hooded sweatshirt, ball cap on. He's got those. Remember those real blonde looking like Caterpillar work boots or Doc Martens? What were they? You know what I mean? They were real blonde looking suede.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. They were I can't. Oh, Timberlands.
Yeah, but this guy had the knockoffs. But you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he walks in. He's got a nickel. What turns out to be nickel revolver. So it's shiny. He's got two chicks. There's two registers. One on the right, one on the left. He orders them back up. Open the drawer and back up. So they open the drawer and back up. And he walks over there, and he's too fat to reach the money. So he puts the gun. He puts the gun down on the counter. Puts both hands over the counter to pull himself, hoist him. And I don't even know why he just didn't walk around the end of the counter. It's beyond me. But that's why he's robbing stuff. So he puts that nickel-plated pistol down on the counter, reaches over and pulls himself over. He's got a dare I say this product placement here. He's got a Walmart sack in his other hand, and he counts the money. He just picks up the money right down the drawer, like ones, fives, tens, 20s. You know what I mean? Puts it in the sack. Goes to the other register, takes the money out. Left to right. Boom, boom, boom. Puts it in the sack. Twists the sack around. It doesn't go around the end of the counter again. Puts his hands the opposite way. Hoists his girth over the counter. He gets all the way to the door. He's made one step out the door. His left hand is still on the door, and he realizes he's left the gun. The gun's been sitting on the counter the whole time. He's got to turn back around and go back and get the gun and flees into the parking lot. And that's what they all said. He robbed the fuel island. 911 dispatch. He's robbed the fuel island and fled out in the trucks. So I watched that tape with these other two cops a little bit, and I think, how am I, God's green earth, am I going to get out of here? How am I going to go back down that 40 miles of road and get my newspaper back out? It was actually not even newspaper. It was ad tracker, you ad finder where you're looking, and, I got 2 dogs and a John Deere tractor for sale.
Yeah.
People. Because there's no way I'm going to even attempt to search all these trucks. So as I was standing there, there's little groups of truck drivers, 4 or 5 over there, 3 or 4 over there, 2 or 3 over there. And truck drivers notoriously have an adversarial relationship with troopers. So they're kind of railing on us being lazy and stupid and blah, 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 blah. And for some reason, I looked over and there was a guy with no shoes on. A fat guy with no shoes on. And it's February, and that's odd to be standing in the parking lot with no shoes on. So, as they say, there's no way you're going to be able to search all these effing trucks, and some of us are in a hurry and all that other stuff. I started walking away, and I said, yeah, I know. I said, where are you guys? And I walked up to 3 of them, and there was 3 of them, the fat guy and 2 other people. I said, where are you guys parked at? And the fat guy says, one of them says there, one of them says there, one of them says there. Big trucks, big conventional trucks sitting there. Well, the fat guy pointed to this one, and two things struck me. First of all, he's an owner-operator. This will mean something to truck drivers, but not to anybody else. And second of all, his truck was out of the three. His was the only one not running. Nowadays, I think they got generators and they got all this other stuff. Back in the old days, you had to leave the truck running.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of these owner-operators, because they got to pay for their truck and their fuel and all that stuff, they get jammed up, and they're usually the ones hauling dope or doing something because they got bills to pay. So I tell him, I said, hey, well, if you don't mind, because he said, I got to get up Mexico. That's a town in Missouri. I got to get up Mexico and pick up a load of brick. I said, okay. I said, well, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll search your truck first, and when you get over there to leave, because he wanted to go. Well, I'm leaving. And I said, when you get over to leave, you just tell him I done searched you. He said, okay. So as we walk over there, young trooper's behind me, Jake's behind him. I said, you don't mind if I search your truck? No, sir. And I go to open the door, and he said, now, before you go up there, I just took a dump. I said, do what? And he goes, I got a bathroom in there. I just took a dump, and I don't remember flushing it. And I opened the door of this truck, and it smelled so bad. I mean, it smelled like he took a dump off the seat. I'm getting in the driver's seat. Now, the first thing I do is I turn that key to on and see where his gas gauges are. They're all on the empty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's another clue. And right between them seats is a gray sweatshirt. Now I moved gray sweatshirt, and there's them blonde, and I think they were didn't they make something that was a Caterpillar? They said
yes,
they
did. Yep.
Caterpillar. There was those blonde work boots. So now I'm in something. And I start getting a little further in that sleeper, and some of these sleepers are gigantic. I don't even know how big it is. I mean, some of these sleepers are gigantic, and he had a collection of probably 125 DVDs and movies and Blu-rays and stuff. I mean, so I go straight to the toilet. I lift the lid, and he had taken a big dump on this toilet. It's like a camper toilet, so it's got a vacuum deal. You know what I mean? The little flapper. He's taking a dump on this flap, and all he had to do is hit the button, and it sucks it away. But he didn't. Okay. So I tell that young trooper I'm with, or actually I tell Jake, because Jake kind of followed me up the side of into the cab. He's going, my God, it stinks so damn bad. I say, dude, give me a flashlight and some rubber gloves. And he goes, no way. I said, give me a flashlight and some rubber gloves. He goes, no way. And I said, do it, dude. Do it. Now, this is why he was beholden to me. The first time I ever met him is Jake the cop. God rest his soul. He's dead now. But at the time, the first day I'd ever met him, I was working out in the absolute middle of nowhere, and I checked this car going 110 miles an hour coming at me, 2-lane road along Big River Bottom. There shouldn't have been anybody out there, and there was 2 cars, him and this dude and me. And so I hit the red lights. I actually cut a U-turn in front of him to make sure he could stop, because sometimes they'll run on you. And I get up there, and I don't know him from Adam, but he badges me right out of the gate, which is, you know, he's badging me right out of the gate because he's going 110 miles an hour and 60, and he's shitting bricks because he's showing off to his buddy who ain't a cop. And I said, okay, well, dude, just be careful or whatever. So from then on, I was golden to him. You know what I mean? I could do no wrong. And I never told anybody the story or anything else. So on the third request to get me some rubber gloves and a flashlight, he said, I'll do it, but I can't believe it. So he brings me, and I could tell by the fat guy was watching him. And I could tell by the way the fat guy, when he walked by him with the flashlight and the rubber gloves, the fat guy was getting worried, and the young trooper was like, no way. I put them rubber gloves on, and I got my left index finger. I had to use my left hand in case something bad happened. I needed to shoot with my right. I didn't want to get shit on my pistol. So I had to use my left thing, and I pushed that flapper, and I turned that flashlight on, and what's there? A blue Walmart sack full of money. Looked like the ghost of Sam Walton looking up at me. And he goes, my goodness, what's in there? And I said, a shitload of money. And he goes, no, serious. And this fat guy's in front of this big long-nosed Peterbilt conventional, and he's watching me, and that trooper's behind him looking over his head, and I give him the signal, the hands up signal, and they cuffed him. So I pulled that $3,600, it was 3,000 some change, out of the toilet, because what he had done is he had put it down, he just pushed the flapper open with his finger, put that money in there, and then took a dump on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't want to flush it because it went all the way down.
Right.
So I got out of that truck, but we still didn't find the gun. I get out of that truck. The dude can't believe it. I said, believe it, you know. And, of course, there's 15, 18 truck drivers still drinking coffee, you know, railing on us. And I've solved the crime in front of them. So we just went from a bunch of hayseed dumbasses to so I get on the phone and I call our troop. And when you tow a car, it's one thing. When you tow an 18-wheeler, it's a whole different ballgame. Mm-hmm. So my lieutenant says, get the county to do it. You know, this guy's going to go to court. The county will try to seize the truck. Get the county to do it. The county's going, it's going to cost $500 or $600 to get that thing towed to impound, and we don't want to do it. And as this transpires, the young trooper I was with said, well, you want me to drive it? And I said, you got your CDL? And he said, yeah. I said, well, what'd you do before you got on patrol? He said, well, I was a truck driver in the Marine Corps. And I said, well, buddy, if you... So he jumps up with his hat on and his full-blown uniform, and he's rolling this big, you know, 3208 cat or whatever, and he's rolling it out there. And of course, I think I told some of my CB stories in the previous podcast, but I had my CB on my marked cop car, and they're all talking trash. All these truck drivers, oh, you better watch, they got an undercover Smokey in that truck and all that stuff. So we take that thing down there, and he backs it in the impound like he was Smokey and the Bandit, like he was Sonny Snow or whoever. I don't know who Jerry Reed played. He was like he was Jerry Reed and Smoke. Yeah, Cletus Snow. Looked like he was Cletus Snow in Smokey and the Bandit. He parked that truck in there. So he gets in my car, and we go back. We're heading back to Petro Fuel Island. Now, we have saved the day, right? We have got them the $3,800, whatever, however much money it was. It was 3,000 some change. We have recovered the pistol. We've brought the truck to impound. We've saved the state and the county $600 of a tow bill. Now, what I had forgot to tell you earlier, the guy that was playing the tape was the general manager of this truck, Petro. And as I got to talking to him, he knew me. He was older than me, quite a bit older than me, but he had worked at Safeway with my mother. My mother had worked at Safeway, so we kind of knew each other, right? So I tell this young trooper I'm with, because I got to bring him back to his car. His car's up there at Petro. I said, hey, man, let's walk in. I said, I'll buy you a drink. Because they used to give cops in uniform free fountain sodas, especially at night, to get you to come around there. You know, that's how the stations keep the cops around, you know.
Yeah.
So
for safety purposes, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, the cops are going to steal just as much as the bad guys, but they ain't going to hurt you. So, no, that was a joke. So anyway, I walk up, and I get me a fountain Pepsi or whatever, and he gets him a fountain Pepsi, you know. I don't remember how big. That's back before, you know, that's back when 32 ounces was big. Mm-hmm. So we walk up to the thing. Now, the gals that just looked down the barrel of the gun, remember? Mm-hmm. The gals that looked down the barrel of the gun and were saved by me and Barney Fife. We've taken the guy to jail. We've quelled the uprising. You know what she says?
What she
whispers, sorry, our boss. Now, her boss is the guy that knows my mom from Safeway. He knew me when I was in high school, grade school and stuff. She said, sorry, my boss is in there. I'm going to have to charge you guys.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you believe that? I just recovered $3,000 from them, and they charged us for our freaking fountain drinks.
Damn. Ungrateful as I don't know what.
Yeah, that's just people, man. That's just people.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's my world out there.
That's
Ladies and gentlemen, a final word. Please visit us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/From the Shadows Podcast, and on our Instagram page at instagram.com/From the Shadows Podcast. You can visit our webpage at fromtheshadowspodcast.godaddysites.com or contribute to our Facebook discussion page called After the Shadows. And tweet us on our Twitter feed at twitter.com/podcast_from. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you all. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.